All documents were to be released by a certain date, and no survivor names were to be disclosed.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 new developments in the ongoing Epstein files release.
They'll basically seek to gather evidence. That may include searches, seizure of devices, phones, computers, whatever.
Woody Allen and the Me Too comment.
The story rocked a family and made tabloid headlines. Director Woody Allen caught in a relationship with the 21-year-old adopted daughter of his longtime partner, Mia Farrow.
It's the dinner date that's raising eyebrows. Newly released emails reveal that Epstein's staff worked overtime to coordinate a dinner with director Woody Allen and his wife Soon-Yi Previn. While Allen's past makes this connection a little unsurprising, the real shocker is a specific note in which Previn told Epstein that the Me Too movement had, quote, gone too far. For many, this isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a grim confirmation of the social circles Epstein cultivated. It highlights how comfortable high society figures felt dismissing abuse allegations while also dining with a convicted sex offender. While this doesn't carry any legal weight, it serves as a stark reminder of the cultural apathy that allowed Epstein to thrive for so long in plain sight.
He's lying, and he's been lying for so long.
Noam Chomsky's fantasies.
Let's go to the next one here. This one, old Noam Chomsky. And just the Jeffrey Epstein story, it never really does die, does it?
Called the father of modern linguistics, Noam Chomsky is one of the most notable intellectuals of our time. While the linguist previously insisted that his ties to Epstein were strictly financial, new emails tell a much stranger story. The documents reportedly show the octogenarian explicitly, quote, fantasizing about a trip to Epstein's private Caribbean island and coordinating the receipt of 23andMe testing kits.
With Chomsky, he doesn't really have a particularly good explanation.
These revelations pierce the academic shield that Chomsky tried to hide behind, suggesting a personal, almost peculiar friendship rather than a mere transactional relationship. For a figure revered for his moral clarity, these bizarre details muddy the waters, proving that even the world's most respected thinkers were not immune to Epstein's strange and manipulative orbit.
We have a closer relationship, hopefully, than Jeffrey Epstein and Noam Chomsky. So anyway, I think it's a little bit odd.
Read Hoffman's passport.
That's a bit of a sort of, it's a bit of a more tangential link to Reid Hoffman. But then if we put the next one up on the screen, we've got a bit of a back and forth here between Reid Hoffman and Jeffrey Epstein.
We also found a weird lost and found story involving LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman. It was long known that tech billionaires were in Epstein's orbit, but these files get uncomfortably specific. Emails confirm that Hoffman stayed overnight at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse, but the funny kicker here is a message regarding Hoffman's lost passport.
Epstein is saying, come to the island, ranch, let's play.
Yep.
Hoffman says probably not, China visits, etc., possibly next year. And
the financier casually emailed that he found the passport in a gift bag, to which Hoffman excitedly replied, quote, excellent. It illustrates the casual, almost fraternity-like access that tech moguls like Hoffman had to Epstein's life. It isn't just about money. It's about a disturbing level of intimacy and comfort. When the people building our digital future are losing passports at a sex offender's house, it raises some serious questions about judgment.
In one of them, they go, Reid will spend the night at 71st Street, of referring to the mansion.
Manhattan mansion,
So,
yeah.
It's bad look.
Bill Gates responds.
It's a $100 billion handshake.
How are you thinking?
Bill Gates back in Australia committing his money to medicine. But as we sat down, the world was gripped in the latest round of accusations from the Epstein files.
Some of the biggest revelations to come from the files relate to Bill Gates and his close ties to Epstein. Now, Gates has officially broken his silence and has offered a direct apology. In a new interview with Australia's 9 News, the billionaire has directly apologized for fraternizing with Epstein, saying, quote, I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him.
Yeah, I met Jeffrey in 2011. The focus was always, he knew a lot of very rich people, and he was saying he could get them to give money to global health. In retrospect, that was a dead end, and I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him.
And while Gates does admit to meeting with Epstein, he insists that it was purely for business purposes and that he never visited the infamous island. By framing the association as a naive business mistake rather than a personal bond, Gates is frantically trying to draw a line in the sand as public scrutiny around him and the financier intensifies.
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Elon Musk's island emails.
I had very little correspondence with Epstein and declined repeated invitations to go to his island or fly on his Lolita Express, but was well aware that some email correspondence with him could be misinterpreted and used by detractors to smear my name.
The techno king has some explaining to do. While Elon Musk has aggressively claimed that he outright refused invitations to Epstein's private island, the 2012 emails tell a very different story. The tone is not one of rejection, but coordination, with Musk explicitly asking, quote, "What day/night will be the wildest party on your island?"
Yet the files contain at least 2 emails discussing just that. In one from the 24th of November 2012, Epstein writes, "How many people will you be for the heli to island?" Musk responded the next day that it would probably just be him and his then wife, adding, quote, "What day/night will be the wildest party on our island?"
Even if the trip never happened, the intent is undeniable. It's a massive credibility hit for the tech mogul. After all, it's hard to claim the moral high ground when you were inquiring about the, quote, "wildest party at the compound." This contradiction suggests that the relationship between them was far warmer than Musk has let on, effectively dismantling the public image and veneer of rejection he has so carefully constructed.
A year later, Musk wrote Epstein saying, quote, "We'll be in the BVI St. Bart's area over the holidays," BVI's British Virgin Islands. "Is there a good time to visit?" To which Epstein replied, "Always space for you."
The Trump Tips FBI file.
So why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times.
It's the document that instantly lit up social media, a raw log of FBI tips regarding the sitting president of the United States. The file catalogs over a dozen accusations called into the FBI alleging misconduct by Donald Trump. But before we jump to conclusions, context is king. The DOJ explicitly flagged these as unsubstantiated leads submitted right before the 2020 election rather than verified evidence.
Donald Trump, his administration's handling of this has been a disaster, really from day one, igniting some questions. Does Trump have anything to hide? Trump asked immediately after the release of the files what it says about him.
Still, the headline writes itself, and the existence of a formal FBI ledger linking Trump to Epstein's network is politically radioactive. Even without proof of guilt, these files ensure that Epstein's shadow will keep looming over the American political landscape for years to come, fueling endless debate about what the Bureau knew regarding Trump's past associations.
Trump talking there about how it doesn't implicate him. However, there were some bad things there for Donald Trump here in the files.
Bill Burns and the CIA. There's another major problem hitting the American political sphere, as if the Trump thing wasn't bad enough. Breaking news has exposed a surprisingly cozy relationship between Epstein and Bill Burns, the man who just finished running the CIA. The files detail multiple meetings and friendly texts from 2014, during which time Burns was acting as Deputy Secretary of State. Burns has issued his, quote, "deep regrets over meeting Epstein" and insists that he cut contact after learning of his controversial past. At the time, Epstein had already pleaded guilty to procuring an underage sex worker. We're talking about the world's most powerful intelligence official exchanging messages with the world's most notable sex offender. It creates an immediate national security headache that the government will find incredibly difficult to ignore. The new redaction deal.
He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls.
A legal crisis that threatened the safety of survivors has been resolved in a new critical turnaround. After the DOJ failed to redact the names of nearly 100 victims, lawyers filed an emergency motion calling the error, quote, life-threatening. As such, a deal was struck on February 3rd, with the government agreeing to, quote, expeditiously scrub the exposed identities.
Second, I'd like to comment on the filing a couple days ago by my fellow survivor sisters to demand the Epstein Files website come down until the survivors' names are deleted.
This agreement forces the Department of Justice to finally clean up the careless mess that they created, and the BBC reports that thousands of documents were removed from the DOJ website. It's a massive victory for victim privacy, ensuring that the women re-victimized by this botched release will finally receive the anonymity they were legally promised in the first place.
And third, the DOJ released the names of the survivors. This is not okay. They're not abiding by the law, and we're going to keep fighting.
The Peter Mandelson probe.
Yeah. So the Metropolitan Police is set to launch a criminal investigation into Lord Mandelson. That's what we understand. We expect that announcement to be formally made sometime between now and the end of the footy tonight.
Crossing the Atlantic, the narrative shifts from scandal to active crime scene. The UK's Metropolitan Police have launched a formal investigation into Lord Peter Mandelson, triggered by emails that allege he leaked confidential banking data to Epstein during the 2008 financial crisis.
We're now talking about the circumstances of the financial crash and how the government was responding to it, and whether or not a government minister allegedly wrongfully leaked information about the government's plans to a financier on the other side of the world.
This raises the stakes significantly. We aren't just talking about gross behavior anymore. We're talking about potential misconduct in public office. If a sitting government official was trading state secrets with a sex offender, then this isn't just a tabloid story. It's political espionage. With police now involved, Mandelson faces the most legally dangerous development of the week: the story of one active government corruption.
So it's effectively just the provisional stages. And once they've done that, they then basically press the investigation button and say, yeah, we're going to investigate.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Clintons agreed to testify.
Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify in the House Oversight Committee's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein.
And finally, the moment that feels like a season finale in a legal drama. After months of playing chicken with Congress, Bill and Hillary Clinton have finally blinked, agreeing to testify to avoid a criminal contempt vote. They're set for closed-door depositions later this month to finally go on the record about their ties to Epstein.
What might we expect from a former Secretary of State, a Democratic presidential nominee, and a former president when they sit in front of Congress?
This is historically unprecedented. We're about to see a former president and Secretary of State grilled under oath about their proximity to a sex trafficking ring. No matter what they say in that room, the mere fact that they have to show up proves that the Epstein reckoning has finally pierced the highest armor in Washington.
I mean, we know that former President Bill Clinton is going to be asked about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. There are photos of the two of them dating back to the 1990s, the early 2000s. We know that Clinton was on his jet on 4 different occasions.
What do you make of these revelations? Let us know in the comments.